Hello everyone. Good morning to all of you. I am Ajay welcoming you to all once again to my official YouTube channel Biology at Your Fingers. Today we all set to start with a new topic, that is fertilization. Up till now we have make a male and female gamete, and after, as you know, that formation of male and female gamete, there will be next process, that is fertilization. So today we all set to start with this topic. So let's start. Fertilization in the case of human being, the fertilization is internal, and as you know, at the site of fertilization is fallopian tube, or that is known as oviduct, and in that part there is a special part that is known as ampulla. In ampullary region there will be fertilization. So we will write, actually fertilization is the fusion of male and female gamete to form a diploid zygote. So what is fertilization? Fertilization simply means that fusion of male and female gamete. It means that sperm and ovum to form what? Zygote. Zygote is diploid, and as you know that both the gamete, that is one of male and females, are haploid. And next one is here, site of fertilization. Now we all set to discuss about the site of fertilization. So as you know that the site of fertilization is fallopian tube or oviduct, but where? In the ampulla, we can see here, ampulla of fallopian tube or oviduct. So as you know what, we can say that the site of fertilization, sorry, we will write here double L. The site of fertilization is what? Ampulla of fallopian tube, or that is also known as oviduct. So up till now we have discussed about definition of fertilization as well as site of fertilization. So definition of fertilization simply is that what? Fusion of male and female gamete, egg and we can say that sperm, and takes place in fallopian tube, and where? In the ampulla of fallopian tube. And in the process of fertilization there are certain kind of steps. We will discuss all those steps in very simplified manner, but before that let's know something about fertilization more here. Next point is here, after coitus. Coitus means that sexual intercourse. So after coitus, about 3 to 5 ml of semen is deposited. So after coitus, nearly 3 to 5 ml of semen is deposited into the female's reproductive tract, deposited in female reproductive tract, in female's reproductive tract, and that contains nearly, or we can also write approximately 200 to 300 million of sperms. After each coitus, male just simply release 3 to 5 ml of the semen, and that semen nearly contains 200 to 300 sperms. And after release of the sperms into the female reproductive part, or we can say that into the vagina, sperms start to move upward direction, and through cervix reaches to the uterus, and from uterus reaches to the fallopian tube, and there after release of egg released by ovary, they will also reach there. So sperms and ovum or egg if reach in the fallopian tube simultaneously, then fertilization will take place. Otherwise fertilization will not take place if egg and sperm is not reaching simultaneously in the fallopian tube. So let's quickly recap. After coitus, human males are simply releasing 200 to 300 million of sperm, and these million of sperm will start the movement and through cervix reaches to uterus, and from uterus will reach to the fallopian tube. And in the same time ovary will also release the female gamete, and that female gamete will also reach into the ampulla of the fallopian tube, where the process of fertilization will take place. But actually this is not a so simple process. Before fertilization there are certain kind of steps that are followed by the sperm. So we all said to just read all those steps or all those points, those are essential before fertilization. So in the simple manner we can say that fusion of male and female gamete into the ampulla of the fallopian tube, where the male gamete and female gamete reaches simultaneously and fertilization takes place. It is so simple, but actually it is not simple. It just undergoes certain kind of steps, certain kind of processes. After that there is a process of fertilization is here. So we all said to just read one by one all those steps. After that we will just discuss the fertilization in brief. So now certain kind of changes those are observed in the process of fertilization. We all said to study about that. So first we can say that steps or changes in or we can say that during fertilization. What kind of steps and what kind of certain changes when fertilization takes place, we all set to study about all those. So for our convenience in the study we have just divided all those steps into 6 parts, and by means of all those we are simply able to understand the concept of fertilization in the simplest way ever. You have not to go anywhere, and the process of fertilization will be cleared today and in very simplified manner without any doubt. So let's start all those simple steps. The first step is here that sperm approach. Sperm approach. After insemination, it means that release of the sperm. What are the certain kind of approaches that just achieved by the sperm before reaching the fallopian tube or ampulla of the fallopian tube? So there are two kind of things in the approach of the sperm. There are certain kind of things those just help the movement of the sperm, or those help the sperm, and there are certain kind of things that just act as a barrier for the sperm. So we all are set to study on both. So in the approach of the sperm, the first one is helping structures. So helping structure, we will discuss all these. The first one is here. In the process of fertilization, the certain kind of things that help the sperm we will discuss here. The first one is lashing movement of tail. Lashing movement of tail. As you know that sperm has a tail. So by means of lashing movement of tail, sperms are easily to move in the female reproductive tract, or they are easily swim into the female's reproductive tract. So the lashing movement of tail is helping the sperm in the swimming process. So this is very important. And the second one is that is prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are also going to help in the movement of the sperm. So this is also helps in movement of sperms. In previous lecture we have discussed about the prostaglandins. So those prostaglandins are going to help to swing the sperm into the female's reproductive tract, or we can, and the third one is here, movement of uterus. In uterus there is aspiratory movement. Aspiratory movement that sperm will just move upward. So by means of movement, that is what aspiratory movements, uterus is also going to help in the swimming of the sperm. So these are the three helping structure or three helping points. The first one is lashing movement of tail. The second one is prostaglandins. Prostaglandins help in the movement of sperm, and the third one is here aspiratory movement of uterus is also going to help in the movement of the sperm. Now we all set to discuss about a certain kind of barriers. Certain kind of the barriers, those act as a, we can say that, breaker for the sperms. So first one is here, acidic pH of female reproductive system, or we can say that tract. Acidic pH of female reproductive tract is act as a barrier for the sperm. The second one is here, thick endometrium lining. Thick endometrium lining. Thick endometrium lining is also act as a barrier for the entry of the sperm. Let's quickly see here. As you know, these are the endometrial lining. So sperm has to pass through these endometrial lining. So during the passing process, these endometrial lining just act as a breaker or act as a barrier for the sperms. So by means of that, few sperms are able to reach to the ampullary region in the fallopian tube. So these were the 2 points. We can discuss more point here. Here the third one is here, phagocytosis in female reproductive tract. So in female reproductive tract there are certain kind of phagocytic cells that just kills the sperm. So all these three are the barriers. So we all set to just complete the point number 1. The first is here, approach of the sperm, and in approach of the sperm we have discussed that some helping structures and some barriers. In helping structures we have discussed lashing movement of tail. By means of the lashing movement of tail, sperms are easily to swim in the female reproductive tract. The second one is prostaglandins. Prostaglandins simply representing the movement or simply helping in the movement of the sperm. And the third one is aspiratory movement of the uterus. Aspiratory movement of the uterus means that upward movement. And the barriers are certain here. Acidic pH of the female reproductive tract. By means of that acidic pH, certain kind of sperms are killed there. There are certain kind of phagocytotic cell, those just phagocyte the sperm. And the third one is, that is very very important, thick endometrium lining is also acting as a barrier for the entry of the sperm. So this was the first point, approach of the sperm. And now we all set to study about the second point. We all set to study about the second point. Up till now we have discussed about the first point. Second one is here, capacitation. This is very very important for your examination, and definition can be also asked, and this question is also asked in your board examination and in no competitive examination. Actually, when sperms are or semen is released, sperms are not functional at that time. So sperms has to just retain or to regain the functional ability. So capacitation is the simple process by means of which sperms gain functional maturity. So this is what capacitation is, the process by which sperms attain functional maturity. So what is capacitation? Capacitation is the process by means of which sperm attains functional maturity into the female reproductive tract. We can write here capacitation is the process by which sperms attain functional maturity in female reproductive tract. And how these sperms will attain the functional maturity into the female reproductive tract, that is a important question. So how they are achieving? By the removal of glycoproteins. By the removal of glycoproteins. From where these glycoproteins will be removed? From the acrosome. Removal of the glycoproteins from acrosome. We have discussed in the structure of the sperms that sperm has an acrosomal tip. So in those acrosomal tip there are certain kind of glycoproteins in the membrane. So these glycoproteins are just removed, and by means of that removal of the glycoproteins, sperms are just able to attain the functional maturity. And the second thing is here influx of, we can say that influx or intake of calcium ion. So there are certain two things. The first one is removal of the glycoproteins from the acrosome, and the second one is influx or intake of calcium ions are going to help to attain the functional maturity to the sperm. So capacitation was the process by which sperms were getting the functional maturity, and how they were getting the functional maturity? Simple, by the process of removal of the glycoproteins, and second one is by the process of influx or intake of the calcium ions in the female reproductive tract. So this was all about the point number 2. In the point number 1 we have discussed the approach of the sperm, and in the point number 2 we have discussed the capacitation. So all those 2 points are here. Release of the sperm lysins. This is very important point, that now certain kind of sperm lysins will be released, and those sperm lysins will contain a certain kind of important substances or chemicals. Those are going to help to the sperm. So this was the release of the sperm lysins, and that sperm lysin contains, now sperm lysin will be released, and sperm lysins will have a certain kind of composition. So we also have to just study about those kind of sperm lysins, and that sperm lysin will contain, the first one is here corona radiata digesting enzyme. The first release of the sperm lysins contains corona radiata digesting enzyme. As you know that corona, there are 3 kind of layers. Those are found in the case of egg. We have discussed about the vitelline membrane, corona, zona pellucida, and we have also discussed about the corona radiata. So corona radiata was the outermost. So sperm lysin contains certain kind of digestive enzymes. Those just digest that corona radiata layer. So this was the first point, that corona radiata digesting enzymes are the major composition of the what? Sperm lysins. Now we will just here correct the spelling. What is the this one is corona radiating digestive enzyme. It digesting the layer of layer corona radiata, and these just digesting acids, those are present between the layers, and hence space created between cells. Hyaluronidase just digests the hyaluronic acid, those are present in between the cells. So by means of that the cell just bifurcated or a space is created there, and by means of that space now sperms will be simply able to reach there. The third one is here acrosine. This is very important line. Acrosine is also released, and that is the major part of what sperm lysine, and that digests the zona pellucida layer. This digests the zona pellucida layer. So the third important point was here release of the sperm lysine. Sperm lysines contain three important points. The first one is corona radiata digesting enzyme that will digest the corona radiata layer. The third one is here hyaluronidase that will just digest the hyaluronic acid present between the cells, and by means of that cells will be bifurcated and a space will be created for the entry of the sperm. The third one is acrosine, and acrosine is going to just digest the zona pellucida layer. So these were the third point. The first was approach of the sperm, the second one is here capacitation, and the third one is here release of the sperm lysine. So we all set to study about the fourth step is here, that is also very important. So now it's time to study about the step number 4, that is what? Formation of reception cone. Formation of reception cone. This is also very important. What is reception cone? Actually, reception cone is formed in the case of ovum or egg at a particular animal pole point and on which sperm will be attached. So let's consider how it is formed. Let's consider this was the egg, and here on the side of animal pole a cone like structure will be formed, and where sperms will be just what? Attached. So this is what? Reception cone. So step number 4 is here formation of reception cone, and after the formation of reception cone sperms are attached at animal pole, and they are also ready to enter the ovum. So this was the step number 4. Now we all set to just read about the step number 5, that is formation of fertilization membrane. This is what step number 5, formation of fertilization membrane. This is also very important line. Formation, this was the formation of reception cone, and this one is formation of fertilization membrane. Actually, how fertilization membrane is formed? This is formed by the attachment of cortical granule. This is formed by the we can say that attachment of cortical granule to the lower side of vitelline membrane. Actually, how these fertilization membrane is formed? These membranes are formed by the cortical region, and those cortical regions simply contains cortical granules, and when those cortical granules attach to the vitelline membrane, this one is formed. Let's quickly recap. This was the vitelline membrane, and as you know that this was the cortical region, and in cortical region there was cortical granules. So these were the cortical granule, and these cortical granules are just on the lower side, and when this vitelline membrane suppose will move upward direction, these will also move and these will be attached here. So when cortical granules are attached to the lower side of vitelline membrane, that membrane is known as fertilization membrane. And actually, what is the function of fertilization membrane? Fertilization membrane are just going to stop the polyspermia. What is the role of this one? It's also going to prevent the polyspermy. So we can also write here what is the function of this? Prevent polyspermy. Actually, what is polyspermy? Polyspermy means that when more than one sperm fuses to the egg, that condition may known as what? Polyspermy. But this membrane ensures that at a time only one sperm will able to fuse with the egg. So this was the step number 5. The last step also, that is fusion of gametic nuclei. So the step number 6, fusion of gametic nuclei. So this is the last step, and in the fusion of gametic nuclei, the male gamete nucleus and female gamete nucleus just fuse with each other. We will see all this by means of a diagram. Let's consider. This was the secondary oocyte, and as you know that there will be small polar body also. And as you know, on the animal pole, this is what? Animal pole, this region, and this one was vegetal pole. So later on, this polar body will be, second polar body will be degenerate. This was the secondary oocyte, and here, as you know that there was formation of reception cone, and on this reception cone sperm will come and bind. So let's consider sperms come here. This one is sperm. So sperms come here and binds, and as you know that sperms will have its own nucleus. So now by means of rupturing this layer, it enters here. So this is what? Sperm nucleus. This is what? Sperm nucleus, and as you know that there will be egg nucleus also. So this was egg nucleus or secondary oocyte nucleus. So this was sperm nucleus. This one is what? Egg nucleus, and this was the centriole number 1, and this was the centriole number 2. So we can write it here, centriole. These two centrioles was of the sperm, because as you know that in the case of secondary oocyte or egg there is no centriole. So these two centrioles, this one is male nucleus, this one is female nucleus. Now these two nucleus will be what? Fuse and will form synkaryon. So this structure is what? Synkaryon. And now this whole structure that is just mentioned here, this whole structure is known as zygote. So now your zygote is formed, and as you know that zygote was the end product of fertilization. So this zygote is formed by the fusion of male nucleus, and this one is female nucleus, and this polar body will be later on degenerated. And one more important thing, up till now this was not egg, this was secondary oocyte, but when this sperm will just touch or attach to the secondary oocyte, here meiosis second will takes place. In the earlier topic we have discussed that secondary oocyte is released and meiosis second or formation of oocyte egg, or we can say that ovum is triggered by the entry of the sperm. So this was the entry of the sperm. It just touches the membrane of the egg, secondary oocyte, and after touching the membrane of the secondary oocyte, here the process of meiosis second started, resulting in the formation of egg. So before we can say that touching the membrane of the sperm, it was a secondary oocyte, but when sperm touches the membrane, meiosis second will takes place, and later on this will change to what? That is egg. So this was all about the fertilization process. In the last we all said to just study about the importance of fertilization. And what is the importance of fertilization? So in the case of importance of fertilization, we all said the first one is here, variation variation will takes place, variation due to fusion of two gametes, and these variation will help in the adaptation and adaptation will help in the evolution. So variation due to fusion of two gametes resulting in evolution. Ultimately, I have not mentioned it here, adaptation. So this was the first point, that due to variation there will be certain kind of adaptation, and by means of certain kind of adaptation they all are going to help in the process of evolution. As you know that in the case of sperm, there is very little bit of cytoplasm in the tail region, but in the case of egg, as you know that there was unequal division, hence maximum cytoplasm was in the egg. So here second one is here, cytoplasm is retained by egg. Cytoplasm is retained by egg. This was the step number 2. Write species specific diploid number of chromosome attained. How? As you know that males have, or human being have, total 46 chromosome, 23 pairs, and out of this 23 in the case of sperm and 23 in the case of ovum. So when these two fuse, there are total 46. So I have mentioned here that species specific diploid number of chromosome is attained by the process of fertilization, and this is also very important point. And the fourth one is metabolic activity increases. Metabolic activity increased. Actually, why metabolic activity is increasing here? Due to mitochondria. Due to mitochondria. And as you know that in the case of in the region of middle piece, sperms contain mitochondria, and that mitochondria will just increase the metabolic rate. So by means of increasing the metabolic rate due to mitochondria, oxygen uptake is also increases. So oxygen uptake increases, metabolic activities will be also increases. So these two were the important line in the fourth step. In the fifth step, we can also see that as we discussed that meiosis second will be started when sperm's entry will be there. So we can mention here meiosis second is started due to fertilization. Meiosis second is started in the case of females, and meiosis second, as you know, that is triggered by the entry of the sperm. So this is very important line. So all these were the five important points. So in the last we can say that centrioles of the sperm, centrioles of the sperm, as you know that in the case of sperm there are two centrioles. So in the case of ovum or egg there is no centriole. So centrioles of the sperm initiate, centriole of the sperm initiate first zygotic division. This is very important line, that centrioles of the sperm, in the sperm there are two centrioles, दो centriole होते हैं sperm में. So they will start that word first zygotic division. So these were the 6 important points. In the last we can also discuss that formation of fertilization membrane, and due to the formation of fertilization membrane only one sperm is able to fuse with the egg and preventing the polyspermy. So this was all about the fertilization, and in the next video we will discuss about the cleavage of the zygote, because in fertilization we have just make the zygote, and after formation of zygote देयर विल बी क्लीवेज ऑफ द जाइगोट। तो ये टोटल प्रोसेस था आपका जाइगोट बनाने का। अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आया यू कैन प्रेस द लाइक बटन, you can also share it with your friends, and you can also subscribe the channel by pressing the bell icon. You will able to get all those latest notification when new videos will be uploaded. So this was all about for today. If you have any queries, any suggestion, any kind of we can say that important things are there, then you can leave in your comment box. That's all for today. Jai Hind, keep smiling and have a nice day.